fairly frequently. I suppose the more experience you get, the more prepared you are. But a lot of the time, especially if you're walking along, you've got the camera in a backpack and you've been walking for 5 hours, and suddenly something appears right in front of you. I remember just walking through the forest, and I had my backpack. The camera was in the backpack, and a huge male chimpanzee walked onto the path in front of me and started. He had a long stick, and he was fishing for termites. And he was aware of me, but he couldn't really make me out, so I couldn't move and couldn't take the backpack off. And then when he carried on doing what he was doing, I thought, I have to get some shots of this. And as I started taking the backpack off to get the camera out, that's when he, properly saw me and then disappeared off into the forest. But I think you have to try and be as ready as you can, but invariably, sometimes I just keep my head down. If I'm not ready, or if it's going to take me a few minutes to get the camera out, I'll just keep my head down and not look, and start looking once you've actually all set up and ready to go.
Yeah, I ask this to a lot of people because it happens a lot. What's the oddest thing you've read about yourself, online or in the media or something? Because the media seem to make, or newspapers or online, they seem to make up stories about people, either they're dead or they're whatever. And is there something you've read in the newspaper or read on, online about yourself that you sort of shocked you?
No, no, I haven't. But somebody once said to me, I hear that you own half of Mull. And
there you go.
I found that very funny because we grew up in Mull's only council estate, and before that we lived in a caravan for a couple of years, so we weren't exactly landed gentry. And I think there was just an assumption that I was like some posh jock that lost the money, but sadly not.
I mean, to own half of Mull, you certainly would have to have a few pennies nowadays, wouldn't you?
Sorry, say again?
So to own half of Mull, you'd have to have...
You certainly would, yeah, gosh.
Yeah, so it's become a very popular area, isn't it? Well, not too popular, but popular enough.
There's still lots of it. I suppose it's blessed with having a lot of room. So even in the middle of the summer, you bump into people in the towns, but actually out and about driving around the island, it's really quiet. It's I love to try and get back up as often as I can, particularly in summer.
You don't live in Mull now?
No, we live in Glasgow. We've been here we kind of moved around quite a lot, and then when the kids got to school age, we thought we had
to settle down here. Away from the sort of filming and sort of presenting, although some people would say that was a hobby, what do you do when you mentioned you go to Croatia and sit on the beaches? What else do you do to sort of relax as a hobby or things like that? I don't have anything. I've got a little boat that I kind of like tinkering about with, so it's just a big kind of wooden rowing boat, and I quite like sort of mending that and sanding bits of that. But I don't, I think because my job really is my hobby and my passion. Mm-hmm. When I'm not doing that, it's sort of I'm at home and trying to be as good a husband and father as I can be, which invariably involves, filling the cupboards and fridges with food and making sure that the washing's done and picking kids up and running them about. So life actually at home is busier than it is when I'm away filming. I mean, people have got this conception, and I've brought this up a lot of times, that people who are on TV live this sort of, have a chauffeur to take the kids to school and this and this. And it's knowing I've been doing this show so long that I know that that's not the case, but people sort of see people on TV and think they live another world, and it's not true, is it? It's not true.
No, I do. It's funny. I mean, it's, I bump into people in the supermarket round the corner, and they're like, "What are you doing? What are you doing in this area?" And I was like, "I live here." So I don't know what their expectations are, but it's not. I've not got a beach house in Malibu or anything like that. But I suppose it's it's a funny thing. I suppose for me, it's the nicest part of doing this job is that you are welcomed into someone's house. If they're sitting choosing to watch the programmes that I'm involved in and help make, they're kind of inviting into their houses, their homes. So when you bump into people, and occasions when people do, kind of recognise me, it is really lovely. I do. It's not an inconvenience at all. I've got to imagine sort of like it could be if you were like a celebrity or someone that was really famous. But for me, it's just somebody that I'm doing my job that people happen to recognise me for the job that I do, and from time to time say hello. So
it is quite nice. I've done a bit of TV, and it is quite. I live in a little village, and it is quite nice. It is quite nice because I did a show quite a little while ago. A few years ago now, and when I walked around the village, people saw. I saw you yesterday, and I was trying to work out what they're on about at first, and I realised the TV show had been broadcast that day. But I mean, this is probably the stupidest question I'm going to ask you. What's your favourite part of the UK? Because you've probably already answered that, really.
I love Isle of Mull because I grew up there, and I think it's stunningly beautiful. But I love the Cairngorms and the sort of Highlands. I just absolutely, I suppose it's as close as we've got to the Arctic in the UK, and I just love that, and the forest as well. So,
do you do a bit of skiing up there?
Not for a while, but I have done in the past. And actually, if you get the conditions right, it can be some of the most. It's like it can be like the Alps, but it's just most of the time it's incredibly windy, it's incredibly cold, and the skiing's not quite as good as other places on the continent. But it's great. It's part of it.
I've skied in Aviemore, and it is actually quite nice up there. It's very, very different, isn't it? I would say, without being sort of rude, it's very, very different. Aviemore is around that area. I was out there quite a few years ago skiing, and I had a great time out there. I'd actually found it a lot more. A year before, I'd been out to the Tyrol, and I found it actually, in many ways, nicer. I don't know why. The people were friendlier. It's probably because they spoke English, I suppose. That had something to do with it. I don't know.
I think there's so many different parts. I think when you look at the UK, it is incredibly diverse. If you kind of look from even in Scotland, from east coast to west coast, it's very different. And then in England, as you drive around, the landscape changes really quite quickly, and it is very varied. So I think the whole of the UK's got some amazing places.
Some great places. I mean, I live about 40 miles north of London, and some of the places I can drive 5 minutes away, and I'm in the town, and I can drive another 5 minutes the other way, and I'm in the country, which is great. I mean, that's the great thing. I mentioned that your favourite place, favourite part of the UK. What about the favourite part of the world? You may probably have already answered this, really.
Favourite part of the world? I think, the Arctic, it was, I think that's a place, if anyone, if someone says, right, where's the place you'd most like to go, it's not always somewhere that I haven't been. I would go back to the Arctic in a heartbeat. I just, really, really love it. But other places, I really loved. I spent a long time in Sri Lanka, and I love that. The people there are amazing, and the food is brilliant, and they've got lots of lovely wildlife. It's got a nice sort of island, vibe to it.
Is there anywhere that you've not been? You've got a yearning to go to?
I haven't been. I've never been to Antarctica, and I think I'd love to go there and just see. So having seen what it's like in the northern tip of the planet, it'd be good to see what it's like down in the southern tip.
So that's the next job sorted out, is it?
Well, we'll see. Actually, that's the trouble. It's actually takes you 2 weeks to kind of get to in some cases. So I might use up all my time there, kind of just getting down there and coming back up.
Right. Well, let's talk about the show once more. It's called Gordon Buchanan's Lost Adventures. And there's only one night, and I think it's the last night of the tour. It's Thursday the 7th of April, and you're at the Auburn Arena in St Albans, a lovely place. Show starts at 7:30, and you've already mentioned it's basically a one-man show with video and photography. Yeah, it's all very informal. It's sort of everyone that's come along so far has gone out with a smile on their face. It's been, initially I thought, God, who's going to want to listen to me for a couple of hours of the evening? But it's actually, I suppose, the fact that people, watch these, watch wildlife programs are incredibly popular, and it's just, it's been a great opportunity for me to meet the people that actually sit at home and watch the programs that we make, and it's all been, been trying to encourage as many kids to come along as well, because it's not just for kind of adults. It's really nice to kind of see a whole range of ages. But there's also actually in Dorking and Hayes. I don't know if that's sort of in. Not really. No, that's slightly out of the area actually. But yeah, St Albans. St Albans. It's Thursday the 7th of April.
If you want tickets, there's two ways of getting tickets. Apart from going to the Auburn Arena, of course, you go online, www.auburn-arena.co.uk, and you can call the box office, which is 01727 84488. And thank you very much for your time today, Gordon. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And good luck with the show.
Cheers. Bye.
Cheers. Bye.
Soundtracks at 10 p.m. on Tuesdays plays film music.
Well, here's another nice mess you've gotten me into.
You're good, kid. But as long as I'm around, you're second best. You might as well learn to live with it.
That's some details of a great show we have here on Secular Sounds. Tony Carty and the Soundtrack Show tomorrow night. I think he's just celebrated 200 shows. Great guy. Great font of knowledge. Anyhow, it's events time, so I hope you've got your pen and paper ready. Let's start off at the MK Theatre this week. Starting tomorrow night, the 29th of March, running through till Saturday, we've got The Barber of Seville, The Marriage of Figaro, and Figaro Gets a Divorce. Barber of Seville is Tuesday and Friday at 7:15. Marriage of Figaro is Wednesday and Saturday at 7 o'clock. And Figaro Gets a Divorce is Thursday at 7:15. That's the Welsh National Opera in their spring 2016 Figaro Forever tour. And do you want tickets for that or any other shows at Milton Keynes Theatre? It's atgtickets.com/Milton Keynes. The box office is 0844 871 7652. And then let's go to the stables. Over at the stables on Thursday, we've got the Hot Cub of Cowtown. They're at the stables. That's a sort of country meets jazz and blues band. Really, really good. And then on Friday we've got Jerry Marsden, but I'm afraid that's sold out. Following night is Richard Herring in Happy Now. And then on Sunday the 3rd, Sax Appeal. And then of course my first guest, Stuart Goldsmith, the 1 hour show. He's there next Sunday, the 3rd of April. And if you want tickets for any of those shows, it's at www.stables.org, or you can call 01908 280 800. And then you, a bit further away, we've got the Magic of Motown. That's Friday the 1st of April. Great show. I've seen this. If you love Motown music, you'll love this. That's at the Auburn Arena. That's on Friday the 1st of April. And you can get tickets there by calling, by emailing, on the webpage. I'll get it organised in a minute. It's www.auburn-arena.co.uk. And then we had him on the show last week, Mark Webster. He and all the rest of the lads are down at the Watford Darts Masters. That's also Saturday the 2nd of April. It's watfordcoliseum.co.uk, or you can call 01923 571 102. And then I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago when I had Sam Adonis on the show. They've got Ultimate British Wrestling. It's at Clifton Community Centre, Saturday, April the 2nd. Jack Stars is on the bill, and also Carl Atlas. Doors open at 6 p.m. The bell time is 6:30. Tickets, I think, are £6. If you go to www.wegottickets.com/event/348708, or turn up at the Clifton Community Centre in Bedfordshire. That's all I've got this week for events, quite a few of them. If you've missed any of those, I have a website. It's www.the-sticks, and that's STICKS.co.uk, where you can see all of the events. Well, a big thank you today to my guests, Stuart Goldsmith and Gordon Buchanan. Next week on the show, I have in a UK exclusive interview none other than a former frontman of Marillion, Fish. He's joining me on the show, and of course they have a connection with Aylesbury, and of course they are playing in Aylesbury. So join me next week if you know any Marillion fans. He gives very few interviews, so I'll tell them to tune in next Monday at 10 a.m. Until next week, hope you have a great week. For me, Terry Sullivan, it's bye for now.
MK Pulse proudly sponsors Seclo Sounds. MK Pulse is Milton Keynes' local magazine, bringing helpful information on food, health, fashion, money, travel, culture and much more to 84,000 people every month. Plus news, views and what's on from around the city. If it's happening in Milton Keynes, it's in MK Pulse and it's available online at www.mkpulse.co.uk. MK Pulse and Seclo Sounds, the heart and soul of the city.
Bringing people and communities together on seclosounds.org.